I want to first thank the city and all the staff that came out to this. Because without you guys, we couldn't get all this stuff put together, so I want to thank you guys. This is the start from a process that actually started back in 2020 on the lot on the other side with Metropolitan Redevelopment and the outside covering grant. We did an outdoor food truck park that was contactless due to vendors not being able to set up at breweries, their customary shops. And we ran that, and we ran it really successful. A lot of vendors sold out. One of the vendors still actually hung around with us, Dennis Johns in the back, who's actually doing all the food for us today. He actually lives in the district. So one big thing about this whole model was that we wanted entrepreneurs that lived in this district to have an opportunity to sell their goods and products. And that's kind of just a little bit of the background of how this space kind of is coming to be. And we couldn't do it without the city in this. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the man, Mr. Tim Keller. And right before we give it to him, we have a shirt for Tim.
All right.
And this is one of our shirts that we've done with some of our students that we work with. It's Landmarks of the ID. This is our historic car at the corner of Gibson and San Mateo. And Yacht City has Paul Bunyan after we got the hands back on, so she's over there. Boom. And you'll be able to buy these shirts here, and it actually goes into supporting our entrepreneurs to our entrepreneurship fund that we help finance things for entrepreneurs that we work with. So.
Oh, man, I love it. This is so awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I have to say, just on this like landmarks in the International District, you know, when I was a state senator, I used to give people a tour of the International District. And it was like of that, and then the castle is like another one. You know what I'm talking about? Like, there are some amazing hidden things in here. And so I'm like, it's just like minds think alike, you know, and like, but you actually delivered on t-shirts. I love it. So that is awesome. In some ways, that is a tiny dream I had come true that I didn't even know about. So great job doing that. So, and that is a good segue too. Look, the guy who put this all together, at least from a quarterback standpoint, who relentlessly wanted this vision to come true. He said we should have, what he said, a place for entrepreneurs to come, you know, of all sorts, but also food trucks in this area, and had this vision from day one and would not let it go. Just tirelessly said, we are going to get this done. And I said, look, as long as you're in with me, I'm going to help. And so let's thank Alex so much.
You bet.
Woo! I mean, it's truly, it's really your food court, you know. I mean, I feel like if we're naming it, it'd be named after you. But this is such a wonderful accomplishment. And I just want to speak a little bit about like what this means in context, right? You see this, and what is this? I mean, it's just gravel, lighting, and electricity. That's all it is from like a capital investment standpoint. But we all know, right, this is so much more. This is, number one, a place where a community can gather that is going to be safe, but it's also, obviously, this area has suffered from decades of underinvestment for all sorts of reasons, whether it's structural and institutional racism, or it's neglect, or it's everything in between. Now, we've been doing our best to fix that. We have hundreds of new streetlights all over the International District. We have a brand new International District library. We added the San Pedro Art Stop. We repaved every neighborhood in the International District. I think we're almost done with every single neighborhood. We rebuilt Wilson Park, and next we're going to rebuild Phil Chacon Park. So we're making a clear statement that is the opposite. We're putting the money where it was long overdue, where it's needed the most in our historic and underserved neighborhoods. And part of it is what is also around this. The city bought this land, and a credit to City Council, by the way, and my predecessor. They bought this land because it was blighted land. And but it took a while for anything to happen. And we sort of said, look, we've got to start. And we have to put down a marker. This is that marker. Even though you see empty land on each side of you, now we're going to use it for parking. But in the long run, we have a fully funded headquarters for the Community Safety Department, which is awesome. I know a lot of them are here. And that is also going to be a massive statement for the community, but also look for our country. Albuquerque is leading the way when it comes to reimagining public safety. It's rare I can say that, by the way. Like, I know we have a lot of challenges. Crime, homelessness, poverty. But when we are leading the way, it's something I'm going to tell you. And so credit to Marielle and her group. So that's going to be over there. I think this side is still TBD, but imagine it. We have this gathering place going. We have the community safety headquarters there, which includes community space. And this is going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. This is not something 10 years away. So what you see today is just the beginning, and a symbol and a reflection of so much more when it comes to this community and our city's commitment. So let me close with this. Before even Alex, there have been long-standing community leaders. Some of them are here today. Enrique Cardiel. That's right. The International District Healthy Communities Coalition and all of the individuals associated with that. And they have been fighting for parks and for lighting and for food truck places, you know, way before I got involved. In fact, they were the ones when I was first running for state senator who taught me all of this. So I want to thank all the neighborhood and community organizers for not giving up. You know, I know we have a long ways to go, but I think now you can see, like, there is no doubt that your advocacy has some results. And one of them is right here, and it's just the beginning. So with that, I'll hand it back. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. And next week starts all the food trucks.
Whew, here we go. Yes, so our next speaker is going to be none other than our representative, Commissioner, Adriana Barboa.
Hello, yay, thank you. Thank you. I was invited to come, and I'm so proud. I was like, I'm supposed to be at Summit Park right now, but I wanted to make it to this because these are the neighborhoods I grew up in. I'm a proud Wildcat. I went to Wilson Middle School, yes, and I loved it, and then eventually to Albuquerque High. But what I mostly think about when I come into this neighborhood, and I live just down the street, when I drive through our neighborhoods, is how lucky I was when, and I didn't even know it, that I grew up in a school where there was Vietnamese folks, and I got to hear Vietnamese language talked all over the place. There was a large percentage of African American folks in my school. There was Native American. I had Native American friends, and of course there's a bunch of Chicanos. And I didn't even know it until I actually went to college that wasn't normal, because I was blessed with that experience growing up for my whole entire life. We were the homecoming queens and the student body council, and we were on DECA and the business development opportunity. It was the most rich experience where we could all just live our full potential and not have that same thing. Of course, you know, our school, I'm not trying to paint a rosy picture that acts like things didn't exist, like racism and classism, and our students weren't bullied in the schools or whatever. But I didn't feel we were never a minority in my growing up, and it wasn't until I even actually started college that I realized, oh, this is a different world. So when we talk about it in the mayor, I won't go down the road of how much we've been invested in or not invested in, right? But because we didn't feel it, because these were our neighborhoods, and we felt happy and proud, and I actually loved it. And so I'm so thankful for the reinvestment. I'm here for it as your county commissioner. If there's things I can do block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, I want to be there for it. Everything south of Central needs our attention, and that's what I'm planning on focusing on. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks to Alex and all the folks. I do want to take a moment to just honor all our families. I talk about growing up. I've also lost a lot of those friends and family members to drugs and gun violence, and so many of them lost way too young. And those were our friends, our families growing up. And so we still feel that. And I just also want to honor Reina Luz, who actually a year ago this October, Reina Luz Juarez, definitely a mentor to me, a community hero, was giving out pumpkins here in this very parking lot because of COVID, the schools hadn't been giving them out. So she's like, I'm going to make sure I get the money and our kids still get pumpkins for this season. So in honor of Reina Luz and all the things she's done for this community, I want to just mention her name. Again, thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the time.
Thank you so much. Now, without further ado, this is the lady that I call Special K. Every time when she calls me, I just know there's extra work to be done. So I intentionally try not to answer it, and then I feel like I end up having to answer it. So without further ado, let me bring up Special K.
He just said that because he know I got a bone to pick with him. So, good morning, afternoon, everybody. I'm Khadijah Bottom. I'm the president of South San Pedro Neighborhood Association, as well as vice president of District 6. And I would like to really give us, he come back. I really want to give a special thanks to the mayor. Alex and I, over a few years ago, started talking about trying to develop this area. And our little pleas and presentations was falling on deaf ear. So then Alex went and met with the mayor, and he called me and he said, Special K, he said, go for it. So now you see what we went for, And we just haven't put the woman touch to it yet. We're gonna put some benches and colorful stuff out here in the future. But I want to thank all of you for coming out for the opening of the San Pedro. I'm president, so I get these streets mixed up. Our San Mateo Kathryn Market. He called it a pop-up market, but no, it's going to be our market. We're going to be neighbors to ACS. And I'm not quite sure what we're going to do on our other end, but just stay tuned because we are going to develop this whole area. And like I said, so now I'm Alex's partner in crime. So now I'm just to bring up the president of D6, my other partners. I got a bunch of partners in crime. So Pete Belletto, president of District 6. And before I go, I also would like to give a shout out, although he's not in attendance, our city councilman, Pat Davis, who helped us navigate this a lot.
Good morning. It's great to see you here. This is a great day for the South San Pedro Neighborhood Association and for D6. This groundbreaking is another example of the partnership that has occurred between District 6 and Mayor Keller and his administration. And with partners and collaboration, good things happen. And this is an example of a good thing that's going to become even bigger and better in the next few months. The International Harvest Market was an idea of Mr. Alex. And he shared it with me, he shared it with Khadijah, he developed a team. And I want you to know that Khadijah and I are on his team and will always be on his team because his vision represents the future. And this future is positive. We're looking at a time of great opportunity where the International District really receives some financial and economic support at the right time in the right places. I also want to acknowledge that my partner, Khadijah, is also my teacher. And she has explained and been very patiently explaining to me why the ID is as it is, and she provided me with a vision of where it should go and can go. And I'm all for it, all behind it. Our coalition represents 17 neighborhoods, and with the redistricting, I believe we picked up 2 more. So it's a very large district of blue-collar families who deserve the same opportunity as other folks in our city and across our state. And we're going to make sure this comes true. The goal of D6 is to make life better. This program is the beginning of a better life. Mayor Keller, we can't thank you enough. Alex, thank you for leadership. And stay tuned, folks. You're going to see many great things happening in the International District. Thank you for your kind attention.
Awesome. So make sure that you guys get a ticket. If you didn't get a ticket, that's okay. You can still get a ticket. Get some food. The food is free today. And like I said, this is the start of a bigger plan for the San Mateo corridor. People in the D6, there's a variance call for the cross the street for a 32 unit and mixed use development. So come out to that on Monday. And again, it's just part of a larger plan to really work with the city and our organization that we can really begin to redo and redevelopment some of these lots that are empty and can create some community input.